Welcome to the week 9 recap, and what a week it was. So, as usual, we're going to just go over the weekly activity and then roll into the overall account balance and growth year to date. So, for the past week, we did receive our SPACs interest income as it was the end of the month. So, 62, a little bit less than last month, January, but to kind of be expected. I mean, February has less days, so less days to earn interest, and that just kind of stays in specs. Then we had our weekly buys on the Monday, so CGDV. As you can see, we had kind of usual couple shares and then a partial share to get close to the $100 buy. And then same for same for DIVB. Had our like one share at 50.65, and then had a partial share at a price of 50.66. All right, so that's the week, and SPACs income and our weekly buys of CGDV and DIVB. So turning to the week, it was a rough week to say the least in the market. Many ETFs that were positive year to date are now negative, and so this is going down by line by line. SPACs kind of now under 20,000. Again, no concerns there. We're using that money to buy the new ETFs. SCHD down kind of the year-to-date growth cut in half from last week. Still positive on the year, and again, we do have a dividend coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. But that's even seeing even values being hit hard too. JEPQ now I think for the first time negative for the year. I think it's one of those kind of relative things where I think relative to similar ETFs, JEPQ is still doing well, but this is definitely a turn not for the better year to date. FNILX down as well. Again, similar to the SPY. And then Apple and Microsoft continuing to be the dogs of the account, down about $200, over $200 total. And then for the new to the account ETFs, share count quantity is increasing, but for the first time this year, they are now negative. So again, about 900 has been put into both, and while they're becoming a bigger part of the account, they are negative, and that's another kind of call out too, is that as the time goes on and we're putting in 200 total into these two ETFs each week, their percent of account is only going to go up. So, week 1, week 2, they're not, if they go up or down, they're not really making a major impact on the account. And even now, it's still somewhat small, but as you can see, in 2 months, they've gone from 0 to now collectively about 4% of the account. So, just think as as time goes on, that collective number will only increase. And so as they go up or down, hopefully more up, their impact on the account will increase. So a cent move, a 10-cent move, a dollar move on these ETFs will have a larger and larger impact. And then Nvidia, this has been, I feel like I say this every week, but this has been a roller coaster option to say the least. A week ago, this time I think literally the week at the end of the week 8 recap, this option was at 410. 3 days later, at the end of February, this option was down to 131, and now 2 trading days later, this option is back up to 420. So again, this was 410 a week ago, down to 131 on the 28th of February, and now 2 trading days into March is already up back up to 420. So very volatile in terms of next steps. So this option does expire on the 7th, in 3 days. So I'll monitor how it goes. I do have a few options. So if it is able to kind of pick up, if the stock picks up and the option decreases, I could still close for a profit. I can roll out, uh, or if it's under the strike price of 117, I could also take assignment. So this is given the extreme volatility. I will make a judgment call on Friday, and I will of course kind of let you know how that played out in the week 10 recap. So, sum it up, our account is at 44,901.44, getting kind of close to where we were on January 1st. Of course, the Nvidia put is having a big impact on that number, being that it's negative as it's a sold option. Year to date, growth is 110, with really SCHD being the sole growth driver so far, as from an ETF standpoint. So obviously, selling options has been overall profitable, but from a ETF value or account value standpoint, SCHD is the sole growth driver, and that total growth of 110 represents account growth of 0.25%. So, I mean, basically flat. But if you kind of compare it to the overall market, or specifically the SPY, being flat is above the market year to date. So I had to kind of stay positive. So I'll take that as a positive. And so that kind of wraps up week 9. So again, very choppy, very volatile week. Things are kind of trending down. But we'll keep an eye on that. I think the good thing about the automated weekly buys is that we're dollar cost averaging in. So as if the prices go down, it just means that we're buying more shares on the cheap, and then when prices rise back up, we'll have even more gain. So that is week 9. I hope everyone has a good week of trading, buying, selling. Again, stick to your plan, block out the noise, uh, and execute. So with that being said, I hope you all have a good week, and on to the next one.